Want to speak real Polish from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at polishpod101.com.
10 phrases to amaze native speakers. So let's go! Dziękuję, ale nie jestem Polakiem. Thank you, but I'm not Polish. Dziękuję, ale nie jestem Polakiem. Thank you, but I'm not Polish. So I guess after long years of studying Polish, somebody can mistake you for an actual Polish person, and then you can say, oh, no, thank you, I'm flattered, but I'm not Polish. Dziękuję, ale nie jestem Polakiem. Nauczyłem się mówić płynnie w ciągu zaledwie roku. It took me only a year to become fluent. Nauczyłem się mówić płynnie w ciągu zaledwie roku. Nauczyłem się mówić płynnie w ciągu zaledwie roku. It took me only a year to become fluent. Nauczyłem się mówić płynnie w ciągu zaledwie roku. And if you're a girl, you want to change this nauczyłem się into nauczyłam się. Nauczyłam się mówić płynnie w ciągu zaledwie roku. Będę mówił po polsku jak Polak w 3 lata. I will speak Polish like a Polish person in 3 years. Będę mówił po polsku jak Polak w 3 lata. I will speak Polish like a Polish person in 3 years. That can be a goal for you to achieve and kind of something you can do. So please try. Good luck. Powodzenia. Uczyłem się polskiego przez 10 lat. I've been learning Polish for 10 years. Another thing that will leave people impressed is saying that you've been learning Polish for a very, very long time. And you can say, uczyłem się polskiego przez 10 lat. I've been learning Polish for 10 years. And remember, if you are a girl, you want to change uczyłem się into uczyłam się. Mogę oglądać polskie filmy bez napisów. I can watch Polish movies without subtitles. Mogę oglądać polskie filmy bez napisów. I can watch Polish movie without subtitles. This is something that will really impress people, and I guess you can achieve it by watching a lot of movies and then studying Polish with polishpod101.com. These two methods combined will lead you to success. Potrafię zapamiętać około 50 nowych polskich słów dziennie. I can memorize around 50 new Polish words a day. Potrafię zapamiętać około 50 nowych polskich słów dziennie. I can memorize around 50 new Polish words a day. That's a kind of achievement, yet, think about it, it's not very difficult to do. So if you try to study with like flashcards from polishpod101.com, you can actually may be able to do it in a very, very short time, go to up to like 50 words, because words are very similar and there are the parts that you already know, and that kind of helps you memorize. So be sure to think about it whenever you're learning a new word. Polski jest fajny i prosty w nauce. Polish is fun and easy to learn. I guess a lot of native speakers think that Polish is very difficult, and at this, so you can amaze them by saying polski jest fajny i prosty w nauce. Polski jest fajny i prosty w nauce. Polish is fun and easy to learn. Well, I would be amazed if somebody told me that, so please try it out on your Polish friends. Mówię nie tylko po polsku, ale jeszcze w kilku innych językach. Apart from knowing Polish, I can speak a few other languages as well. Another thing that many people find amazing is if you can speak not only Polish but other languages as well. So in that case you can say, mówię nie tylko po polsku, ale jeszcze w kilku innych językach. Apart from knowing Polish, I can speak few other languages as well. That's definitely something to amaze your friends. Uczę się polskiego samodzielnie. I'm learning Polish all by myself. Uczę się polskiego samodzielnie. Uczę się polskiego samodzielnie. Which means I'm learning Polish by myself. I'm learning Polish by myself. Polish is a very difficult language to learn, so learning it by yourself is actually very difficult. It requires some time, it requires effort, yet if you can do it, that's really amazing. Go for it. Nie mam najmniejszych problemów z polską ortografią. I have no problems with Polish orthography. So what is the most difficult part in studying Polish? Well, somebody would say it's an aspect, but I guess there is another part that's very difficult, and it's orthography. And actually, orthography is difficult not only to foreigners, it's very difficult to Polish people as well. And we got a lot of people, not even our president can spell some words, so Please watch news for that one. So, if you want to impress somebody, you can say nie mam najmniejszych problemów z polską ortografią, which means I have no problems with Polish orthography. That's actually cool. I do have problems with Polish orthography, so I would be impressed.
In this lesson, we're going to learn how to apologize in Polish. It's very easy. First of all, good news. We don't differentiate between I'm sorry and excuse me. In Polish, we have just one word, przepraszam, which can be used in both situations when we want to apologize or draw someone's attention. There's also no difference between formal and informal situations. It's always the same przepraszam. Let's go through some situations in which przepraszam can be used. If you want to draw someone's attention, just put przepraszam in front of the question. For example, przepraszam, czy to miejsce jest wolne? Excuse me, is this seat occupied? Or przepraszam, jak dojść do dworca? Excuse me, how can I get to the train station? In such a case, you can modify the question by adding panią if you're addressing a lady or pana if you're addressing a man. For example, przepraszam panią, jak dojść do dworca? Excuse me, ma'am, how can I get to the train station? The meaning is exactly the same as before. We just emphasize the gender of a person who we talk to. You can choose whatever version you like better. Both are correct and polite. The other situation in which we use przepraszam is when we apologize. As I mentioned before, we have only this one word for making an apology. We can use it both in formal and informal situations. If you want to make your apology more complex, you could use this phrase. Jestem ci winien przeprosiny. Jestem ci winien przeprosiny. Please note that this is spoken by a man. Woman would say, jestem ci winna przeprosiny. Jestem ci winna przeprosiny. This phrase means I owe you an apology. Usually, after saying this, you are expected to explain what you did wrong or the reason why you think you owe someone an apology. There's one colloquial word used to apologize among young people. It's almost the same as the English sorry. We say sorry. Sorry. It's okay to say it to your friends, but only in the case of a small mistake, something not very serious. For example, when you step on your friend's foot or when you want to refuse going out. Now it's time for Joanna's insights. Making an apology in Polish is very easy. It's enough to just say przepraszam. Here, you don't have to worry about speaking formally or informally, or the age and gender of the person you are talking to.
15 must-know family words. Are you ready? Rodzina, family. You may know another word which is very similar to rodzina. Rodzić, rodzić. To give birth to, rodzić. Or another one, urodziny, birthday. So it's all related to giving birth, to birthday, all that stuff. That's because rodzina, that's the family, is actually, a group of people that are connected with birth. That's why rodzina. Very similar to rodzić, rodzić, rodzina, family. For example, you can say, masz bardzo dużą rodzinę. Masz bardzo dużą rodzinę. You have a very large family. Masz bardzo dużą rodzinę. And having a large family in Poland is actually pretty common. Having 2, 3, 4 kids. My aunt has like 3 daughters, 3 sons, 6 kids total. I myself, I'm an only child, but I guess it is very common to have at least 2 kids in Poland. Ojciec, father. Mój ojciec jest architektem. My father is an architect. Which is actually true about my father. Mój ojciec jest architektem. In some languages you have different words for father when you use it with others and then when you use it with your dad and so on. In Poland, not really ojciec. To your dad, you probably wouldn't say ojciec or ojcze. You will say, so you wouldn't say father, you will say dad. And dad in Polish it's tato, tato, tato. Easy, so kids can pronounce it too. Tato. Mąż, husband. For example, you can say, podobno jej mąż jest policjantem. Podobno jej mąż jest policjantem. Apparently her husband is a police officer. Podobno jej mąż jest policjantem. Syn, son. So usually you will say syn, but if it's a small kid, you will rather use synek. So for smaller kids, synek. And you can, for example, say, mój synek ma już 10 lat. Mój synek ma już 10 lat. My son is already 10 years old. Brat, brother. So for example, if you have only one brother, you can say, mam jednego starszego brata. Mam jednego starszego brata. I have one older brother. Family in Poland is very important, and of course, so is your brother or your sister. And well, I myself, I don't have any, but I know that people get really attached to their siblings, and they visit them often, they talk very often. So in some countries it's not so common, but in Poland, yes, it is. Wujek, uncle. You can say, for example, wujek już z nami nie mieszka. Uncle doesn't live with us anymore. Funny thing about Polish uncles and aunts as well. So basically everybody around you is an uncle or an aunt. So for example, if my friend has a baby, she will refer to me, because we are friends, as an aunt. And for example, she will refer to my boyfriend as an uncle. And even though we are not really aunt and uncle, because that's the way it is in Poland. So every kid in Poland has like 100 aunts and 100 uncles. It's just the way we are keeping it a very, very big family. Dziadek, grandfather. For example, if you do something stupid, you can probably hear your mom or your grandma saying, co by na to twój dziadek powiedział? What would your grandfather say about this? Teść, father-in-law. Almost like cześć, only a little bit different. Teść, teść. So if you are the lucky one, you can say, mój teść nie jest taki najgorszy. My father-in-law is not so bad. Mój teść nie jest taki najgorszy. Matka, mother. But same as father, you will not say to your mom, mother. You will not say matka. They can feel offended even. You will say mama, mama. So when you are asking something, you can say, Mamo, możemy iść jutro do zoo? Mom, can we go to zoo tomorrow? Córka, daughter. And similar as syn or son, when he is little, you say synek. And for córka, you say córeczka, córeczka. You can, for example, say, mam dwie córeczki, which basically means I have two daughters. Siostra, sister. Moja siostra pracuje w urzędzie miejskim. My sister works at the town hall. Żona, wife. So you probably know the word ona, she, ona. So just add ż, żona. Ona, żona, żona, żona. And you can ask, for example, gdzie jest twoja żona? Where is your wife? Teściowa, mother-in-law. So father-in-law was once again teść, and here we've got mother-in-law, which is teściowa. Jutro jedziemy do teściowej. We are going tomorrow to visit the mother-in-law, and that can be very scary jutro. Jutro jedziemy do teściowej. We are going tomorrow to visit the mother-in-law. Babcia, grandmother, or grandpa will be dziadek as well. And grandmother or grandma is babcia, babcia. And Polish grandmothers, oh my God, they can cook you like the whole fridge, and you will get stuffed, and then you won't be able to walk anymore, and then she will be asking, oh, are you okay? You sure you don't want any more? Like, I have like this and this and this, and then help yourself with this, and 5 minutes later she will be serving you another meal. That's basically what it usually happens every single Polish house. For example, you can say, moja babcia skończyła wczoraj 80 lat. My grandma turned 80 yesterday. Ciocia, aunt. And as I already said, every single female around your kid will be this kid's ciocia. So, like my friend, he has a 4 years old daughter, and she knows that I'm her ciocia, although I'm not a ciocia at all. Like, we basically have known each other for like maybe only 4 years. Doesn't matter. We don't have any relationship, anything. But I'm her ciocia because that's what we usually do. We call everybody around ciocia or wujek. And for example, you can say, ciocia cię bardzo kocha. Auntie loves you very much.
Want to get cheat sheets, audiobooks, lessons, apps, and much more every month for free? Just click the link in the description to get your free language gifts of the month.
In this lesson, we will learn some of the most common greetings used in Poland. Gotowi? Are you ready? Zaczynamy. Let's start. There are a few informal greetings in Polish. Cześć. Cześć. Cześć means hi or hello. Another informal greeting is siema. Siema. This phrase also means hi, but it's used only by young people. Another very common greeting is hey. 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 Hey is very easy because it's exactly the same as English hey. All these greetings are very informal, and we should only use them with friends or close relatives. Now let's move on to formal greetings in Polish. There are only 2 that you need to know. We'll start with dzień dobry. Dzień dobry. Literally, dzień dobry means good day. We can use dzień dobry during the whole day, from early morning until evening. If it's the evening, we would say dobry wieczór. Dobry wieczór. What should you say when you leave? Polish people usually say do widzenia when living in a formal situation. Do widzenia. Do widzenia means goodbye. If, however, we are saying goodbye to friends or relatives, we can use the informal papa. Pa, or simply pa. Now you can greet people and say goodbye in many different ways in Polish. Let's review them all again. First, formal greetings. Dzień dobry. Use this phrase during the day. Dobry wieczór. Use this phrase in the evening. The informal greetings are cześć, siema, hej. When living in a formal situation, we say do widzenia. And in an informal situation, it's papa or just pa. Easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Joanna's insights. Do you remember siema? It's an abbreviation of jak się masz, which means how are you? But we just use it in the same way as hi. It's a very common greeting among young people. You will find, as you continue to study Polish, that new greetings constantly appear among young people who often come up with new uses for well-known phrases or their abbreviations.
10 questions you should know in Polish. So let's start. Jak się nazywasz? What's your name? Jak się nazywasz? What is your name? So if you meet somebody and you ask this person, jak się nazywasz? You may hear an answer like, nazywam się Ania. My name is Ania. Ania is actually a pretty common name in Poland. Or nazywam się Marzena. My name is Marzena. Jak się masz? How are you? Jak się masz means how are you? And you may hear an answer like dobrze, which means good. But actually, probably more often you will hear a very, very long answer and it won't be good. Because in Poland, it is not so common to ask, jak się masz. You do ask that, but you ask that only, people you are very close friends with. And you kind of need to expect a longer answer and that people will actually tell you the truth about their life and wrong happened in it, and it's usually wrong because Polish people love complaining. So be careful with this one. If you don't have time for a longer talk, just don't ask it. Skąd jesteś? Where are you from? Skąd jesteś? Where are you from? So you may hear this question if somebody notices that you are not from Poland. And for example, if you are from America, you can answer z Ameryki, from America. So basically you just put z and then the country. Kiedy masz urodziny? When is your birthday? And if you make new friends, you may hear a question like Kiedy masz urodziny? Which means when is your birthday? And a good answer for that would be just giving, the month and day. You don't have to answer in a whole sentence. So you can say, for example, 8 lutego. 8 lutego, which is February 8th. This is actually my birthday. Gdzie mieszkasz? Where do you live? Another question you may hear is Gdzie mieszkasz? Gdzie mieszkasz? Gdzie mieszkasz means where do you live? And when you can answer like in details, telling the street, saying the street and everything else, or you can just, say mieszkam w Krakowie, which means I live in Krakow. Gdzie pracujesz? Where do you work? Another question you may hear in Poland is Gdzie pracujesz? Where do you work? And it can be about the place or it can be about the company. So, for example, if you don't want to say the company or you are like, reluctant, you just want to say, okay, I work in Krakow, you say pracuję w Krakowie. If you want to say the company, on the other hand, you can just say pracuję w and change Krakow, to the name of a company. Jaki jest twój numer telefonu? What's your phone number? If somebody likes you really much, then they may ask about your phone number, saying, jaki jest twój numer telefonu? What is your phone number? So you can answer that saying, mój numer telefonu to 693 408 896, which means my number is 693 408 896. Just notice that in Polish we usually break it into like groups of 3, and we say not 693, we say 693, which is 693. Gdzie się nauczyłeś polskiego? Where did you learn Polish? Now, because studying Polish it's not so common and you don't actually learn it at school in a lot of countries, you may hear a question, gdzie nauczyłeś się polskiego? Where did you learn Polish? Well, you can answer, for example, w szkole językowej, which means in language school. Czy lubisz polskie jedzenie? Do you like Polish food? Another question you may hear as a foreigner is, of course, do you like Polish food? Which in Polish is, czy lubisz polskie jedzenie? Czy lubisz polskie jedzenie? You can answer whatever you want, like if you like it. If you don't like it, don't feel, like embarrassed and just say it straight because people will just fill you with Polish food that you don't like. But if you like it, you can say uwielbiam, which means I love it. Kiedy przyjechałeś do Polski? When did you come to Poland? Now, once you come to Poland and you start living there, you will probably hear this one a lot. Kiedy przyjechałeś do Polski? When did you come to Poland? So, if it's like for you 3 years, you can say przyjechałem do Polski 3 lata temu. I came to Poland 3 years ago.
In this lesson, we're going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. Gotowi? Are you ready? Let's start. There are 2 ways to thank someone. Let's start with the easiest one. It's just one word. Dziękuję. Dziękuję. Dziękuję means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add bardzo. Dziękuję bardzo. If we want to thank a friend, usually we use a different, more casual word. Dzięki. Dzięki. Dzięki is very similar to the English thanks. So you shouldn't use it when your friend did something especially nice for you or when the situation is serious. We usually use it to thank for small favors. For example, if a friend bought a drink for us, lent us a pen, helped us carry our bags, and so on. How do you answer? It's easy. Here are two different ways to do it. The first is nie ma za co. Nie ma za co. This means you're welcome. Nie ma za co can be used with anybody, except in a very formal situation. In such cases, it's better to use this expression. Przyjemność po mojej stronie. Przyjemność po mojej stronie. Literally, this phrase means pleasure is on my side. It's not a very common thing to say among young people, or between friends and family members. But it will be considered very good manners if you answer with this expression in a formal situation, such as while talking to your boss or speaking to someone much older than you. You can also simply say it to someone you don't know very well. So when someone says dziękuję to you, you can reply with nie ma za co or przyjemność po mojej stronie. If you hear dzięki, it might be a bit too much to respond to this casual phrase by saying nie ma za co or przyjemność po mojej stronie. So how might you react then? You have two options. First one is just to say nothing. Don't worry, it's a normal thing to do. The second option is to say spoko. Spoko. This means something like it's cool. If you want, you can also answer using this phrase. Nie ma problemu. Nie ma problemu. This means it's no problem. Now it's time for Joanna's insights. If you want to keep it simple, just use dziękuję or dziękuję bardzo when you want to thank someone. It doesn't matter whether the situation is formal or informal. It's always the same. Remember not to say przyjemność po mojej stronie to your friends, because it will sound a little bit weird. If someone thanks you saying dzięki, just answer spoko. But please note that these two words are very casual.
25 Polish phrases. My name is Marzena. Let's start. So the first phrase is cześć. Cześć means hello in Polish. So when you meet your friend, you can say cześć, which would be like saying hello. But then again, you can use cześć to say bye as well. For example, when you meet your friend, you can say cześć, and then when you have to go back home, you can say cześć again. So this one is pretty useful. So our next phrase is dzień dobry. Dzień dobry means good morning in English, but actually what it literally means is dzień, which is a day, and dobry, which is good. So actually what you are saying, it's good day. That's why we can use it through the whole day, not only in the morning. You can say it in the evening as well, or in the afternoon. You can say it to your friends or to your family and to a person you don't know as well. So feel free to use it anytime you want. And our next phrase is dobry wieczór. Dobry wieczór means good evening, literally means good evening. For example, through the whole day you would say dzień dobry, but at the end of the day you would say dobry wieczór. Now, actually, a lot of people, it's very difficult to know when can you start saying that, when can you start saying dobry wieczór instead of dzień dobry. So a lot of people I know starts with like dzień dobry, they want to say dzień dobry, but they didn't notice it's already evening and they say like dzień dobry wieczór, which is the funny way of saying that. You can try it if you want. Dobranoc. Dobranoc means good night. So you would usually use it before going to bed, when you want to say bye to your family or to your friends and just you are sleepy, you will just say dobranoc. Dobranoc, it's one word, but it actually came from two different words. So like dobra, which means good, and noc, night. So it literally means good night, but it's one word right now. The next phrase is jak się nazywasz? Jak się nazywasz? Which means, what is your name? If you meet a new person, you can use it, but remember that this phrase will be better to use with people of the same age or people younger, because it literally means what is your name, not what is your name, sir, or what is your name, ma'am. That's why it's not too good to use for like older people. More, it's better to use it for your friends, for people the same age, or for younger people, for children as well. So once again, jak się nazywasz? And the next one is nazywam się. So obviously if you ask jak się nazywasz, what is your name, you have to answer that, and that's nazywam się, which means my name is. For example, nazywam się Marzena. So the next phrase is miło mi ciebie poznać. Miło mi ciebie poznać, which means it's nice to meet you. So obviously when you meet a new person, you ask jak się nazywasz, and you answer nazywam się, like nazywam się Marzena, and then at the end you usually say like it's nice to meet you, and that would be miło mi ciebie poznać. So the next phrase is jak się masz? Jak się masz? Which means how are you? Now the funny thing is that we don't really ask that a lot in Poland. I mean, we do, but not as often as you do it in English. So when you ask somebody jak się masz, how are you? Be careful, because this person can actually give you the real answer. The next phrase for today is dobrze, dziękuję. A ty? I'm fine, thanks. And you? Dobrze, dziękuję. A ty? I'm fine, thanks. And you? As I told you before, this may not be the answer that you will get. Some people will say so, but some people would just start talking about their problems, about their life, and instead of just getting I'm fine, thank you, and you will get the whole life story of this person and all the problems and everything related. So be careful when you ask this one. It's usually good to ask your friends, people you are closer to, with whom you really want to talk a lot, and then you will get an answer, longer answer. But of course, if you are asked and you don't want to talk about your life, you can just say dobrze, dziękuję, a ty? Proszę. Please. Proszę. Proszę means please in English, and you can use it, for example, when you give somebody something. So like, proszę. Or when you ask somebody to do something, like, proszę, proszę, zrób to dla mnie. Please, please, please do it for me. So going to the next phrase, dziękuję. Dziękuję means thank you in Polish. Well, you can use it to basically anybody you want. When somebody passes you something, you can say, and saying proszę, you can say dziękuję. When somebody invites you inside, saying proszę, proszę, you can say dziękuję as well. When somebody offers you tea or coffee, you can say dziękuję. If you don't want it though, you can say nie, dziękuję, which means no, thank you. Nie ma za co. Nie ma za co means you are welcome, but what it actually literally means is there is nothing to be thankful for. So we usually say dziękuję, and the other person would say nie ma za co. Next phrase we have here is tak. Tak means just yes. Whenever you want to say yes, and it's basically the same as in English. So, for example, when you want to use tak, if somebody asks you, do you want a tea or do you want something to drink? And you can say tak. Or you can say, actually adding please, tak, proszę. And when this person passes it to you, you can add dziękuję. The next phrase is nie. Nie means no. For example, if somebody offers you something to drink, if you want it, you can say yes, please, which would be tak, proszę, or tak, poproszę. But if you don't want it, you can say nie, or you can say nie, dziękuję, adding thanks to that. So, do you want something to drink? Nie, dziękuję. And next phrase is dobrze. Dobrze means okay. So, for example, when your friends asks you to go somewhere, or like, do you want to go grab something to eat together? And you can say, tak, or you can say, dobrze, let's go. Yeah, sure, okay, let's go. Or if they ask you if you want to go together for a trip, you can say, yeah, sure, dobrze. Yeah, I want to go. The next phrase is przepraszam. Przepraszam has many different meanings. So it can mean excuse me, but it also can mean I'm sorry. So you would see a lot of Polish people mixing excuse me and I'm sorry in English because it's actually one word in Polish. So for example, when you stepped on somebody's leg, you can say przepraszam. When you did something wrong, you can say przepraszam. When you want to pass through like crowd of people, you can say przepraszam, przepraszam, and find your way out. If you did something wrong, you can say przepraszam as well. So it's actually a pretty useful one. So it means excuse me, but it means I'm sorry in the same time. Przepraszam. Przepraszam means I'm sorry. Actually, the next phrase is która jest godzina? Która jest godzina means what time is it? If you want to ask somebody, excuse me, what time is it now? You can say, przepraszam, która jest godzina? So let's go to the next one. Another very useful phrase. Gdzie jest toaleta? Gdzie jest toaleta? Which means, where is the toilet? So, gdzie means actually where. Jest means be or to be. And toaleta is toilet. So, gdzie jest toaleta means, where is the toilet? So if you are in a shopping mall or in a restaurant and you want to ask, excuse me, where is the toilet? You will say, przepraszam, gdzie jest toaleta? The next phrase is poczekaj chwilkę. Poczekaj means to wait and chwilkę means a moment, and together it means wait a moment, please. When you see your friend going somewhere but you still want to talk to him or her, and you can just, call them and then say, poczekaj chwilkę. Ile to kosztuje? Ile to kosztuje means how much is this? When you go to a shop, you will say przepraszam, ile to kosztuje? So excuse me, how much is this? Przepraszam, ile to kosztuje? Czy mogę prosić o rachunek? Czy mogę prosić o rachunek? Can I get the check, please? So imagine you are sitting in a very nice Polish restaurant eating pierogi or any other wonderful Polish dish, and you've just finished and you just want to get your bill. So you would just call the waiter saying przepraszam, and then you will add czy mogę prosić o rachunek? And the next one for today is pomocy. Pomocy. This means help, and I hope you will not have to use this one anytime soon. But if you're ever in danger, if you ever in a very dangerous situation, which I hope you will not be in Poland, you can use this one. You saying pomocy. Do zobaczenia. Do zobaczenia means see you later. You can use it when you speak with your friends and with your family or with anyone basically, because it's not super formal, but it's not only reserved to your closest friends. So like for example, we started this one with cześć, which was hello, but it was bye as well. And this one you would use when you speak with your friends, you would say cześć. But then for everybody else, your friends included, you can say do zobaczenia, which means until we see each other again. Potrafię dobrze mówić po polsku. I can't speak Polish very well. Nie potrafię means I can't. Mówić means to speak, and then po polsku means in Polish. So nie potrafię mówić po polsku, it literally means I can't speak Polish very well, or I can't speak in Polish very well if you wanted a very literal translation. When you start learning the language and you are still not so good, and you meet like people and you want to tell them that your Polish it's not so good, or it's not super good yet, you can use this phrase. Nie potrafię dobrze mówić po polsku.